Welcome to another edition of Rabbitohs Radio. My name is Grant Chappell. I'm joined by my loyal co-hosts and friends, Darren Brown, Brendan the Rabbit Taliski. What's doing, boys?
Yeah, g'day, boys, and g'day to all the viewers out there who've jumped online to watch this episode of the recap of the Parramatta Eels, chaps, at Allianz Stadium. Hopefully our home in the next couple of years, but yeah, what a win it was.
Yeah, and welcome to you, Brendan, all the way from the Central Coast there, mate. A bit wet up there today?
Yeah, a bit wet up there. How you going? DB, GC, how are you, boys?
Yeah,
we're
all
all right,
good.
mate. No dramas, mate. It's look at the rain set in about just after lunch, or just before lunch, and looks like she's set in for a couple of days. But if we're going to come on here and talk about weather, people are going to turn it off pretty fucking quick. So we'll get straight into the 20-16 win out there. We are now, boys, the only team undefeated at home this year, 1-0 at Allianz Stadium, back at the home of rugby league, back where it all started back in 1908. This mighty club belongs at Allianz Stadium. I'm telling you, that was the greatest fan experience I've had in a couple of years by going back to our own home ground.
Yeah, well, look, chaps and Brendan, unfortunately, I couldn't make it to the game on the weekend. I had work commitments, but I have been to that stadium before, and I've said all along, this game is about the fans, and you want to give them the best experience. Now, chaps, you were at the game. I know there was only 20-something thousand there, but 20-something thousand there would sound like 40 or 50,000 out there at Acor, and I bet you had one of the best experiences of all time.
That's exactly right, Brownie. I said the same thing on Twitter the other day, just about how we'd have to get at least 45, 50 to create the similar atmosphere as we did. And anyway, I had seats about 4 rows back from the ground on the halfway line opposite where they run out. I think it's Bay 33 from memory. Mate, it was like the players are getting tackled in your lap. You're so on top of the game there. The atmosphere was unreal. Eels fans everywhere, Rabbitohs fans everywhere. Everyone I've spoken to was out there, loved it. Like the Burrow, Josh Kemp and the boys, just they want a permanent move back there. It's not going to happen, obviously, in the next 4 or 5 years, but I think it looks like it's trending towards to play 2 or 3 games a year, and I'll be happy with that at the moment. That's fine. I'd rather that than nothing. We've had nothing for 20 odd years, so I'd cop 2 or 3 games a year and make it pretty special. Look, the crowd would have disappointing. Sure, I was thinking 25 to 30. Didn't work out like that. But anyway, that's the way it goes. Look, Brendan, you obviously couldn't make it to the game. You want to tell us a bit about what's going on in your life there, mate? You could be running off the screen in a second.
Yeah, I've got a heavily pregnant partner. She's just been in and out of hospital with a few small little complications in the last.
Shout out to you, Mel. All the best, Mel.
Mel's going good. She's a trooper, mate. She's got to put up with me, 2 kids, and she's going to have a third one. So basically, she'll have 4 kids in the next couple of days. It's going to be pretty wild, let me tell you.
Bloody hell.
But
it's
yeah,
all right, mate.
Sometimes
I'm ringing up and I can't hear you. So I'll call you back when them kids are settled down, mate. It can get pretty loud in that household.
Oh, mate, they're pretty wild, mate. They don't listen. It's like you trying to tell me to get in the middle of the screen for the potty, mate. I just don't listen.
Oh, exactly right, mate. Yeah, so you've been on watching. You couldn't go to the game, and you're doing the best by your family, mate. And me and Brownie sent our best wishes to you. And who knows, in the next 24 hours, you might have another child there, mate. Good luck with all that.
Yeah,
Look,
just before you move on to the next topic, just going back to that particular stadium and the closeness of where you're situated in that stadium. I went there, and like I said, I went there to a couple of games last year when the Rabbitohs played, and there was one instance there where the opposition were kicking off, and the front rower, which was Junior Totola at the time, he was coming off the back fence, and he was literally on the back fence. The fans were patting him on the back, waiting for him to catch the ball. That's how close you are to the action there at that particular stadium. Purposely built for rugby league. It's not an Olympic stadium like Acor is, which was built for the Olympics back in Sydney in 2000. This stadium is purposely built for rugby league, and you get the best atmosphere when you go there. Now, why wouldn't you want to go there? Oh, I'm sure if you asked all the players where they want to play, I bet you I know where they say they want to play.
Yep, I know, mate. Home of the Gadigal and the Bidjigal people, mate. They had a pretty big presentation on prior to the game and bit on at half time, and to have one of the great Olympians of all time, Kathy Freeman, in the building. South did a pretty good job. The only thing is, I had to text him at half time because we couldn't hear the PA at Bay 33, and thanks to Jeremy Monaghan, he fixed all that up. I don't think we had the speakers turned over on our side, but anyway, that's the way it goes.
You got the job done, chaps.
Well, it wasn't me. I didn't turn anything on, but I just let them know what was happening. No, it was Jezza flicked the switch, and we could hear everything we needed to hear. But look, I met up with me, missus, and the kids went to the juniors. We drove there, had a couple of beers, had a nice food there. I think I had from memory, I think it was the Wagyu beef and mushroom pie, bit of gravy and mashed potato, sensational. But look, you go from there, jump on the tram, 10 minutes, you're at the ground. You can couple of beers at the ground, come back and kick on at the juniors or whatever. But we bumped into all sorts of people there. Nick and his brother Chris and his missus Tina, his old man and his brother came all the way from Dubbo to have a couple of beers at the juniors. I've seen Warren Wilson, the great Warren Wilson. He loves getting out there and throwing his 2 bob worth in. Darren Finlay, look, they're all there. Look, I was speaking to Keith McCraw's young bloke today, Sparkles, and he was saying, mate, they were really happy with the response. Imagine that was there a couple of, half a dozen times a year. The club would be thriving. The club would have more money to put into junior football, and junior football's where it's all at, boys. So look, it was everything was a winner on the day. Pretty much got the first tram out of there, even though we waited right till the end of the game. Didn't have to wait. They shoved you in there like a can of sardines, and away you go, and everyone jumps out of the different stops. Yeah, outstanding, guys. Loved it. Getting down to the game. Look, it was 16th versus 13th, but it certainly didn't pan out that way, boys. Brownie, it was a pretty quality game of football, to be honest.
Yeah, it certainly was. And to be honest, Parramatta were full of running early on. And I said to someone after the game, it's probably one of the most grittiest wins that I've ever seen from the South Sydney Rabbitohs. We just hung in there and hung in there. We really had no right to win that game. We came up with a number of try-saving tackles. Our scramble defence was unbelievable. And some really top performers on the day. And we'll go through all them. But, yeah, it was just a great win from the boys. And, look, we've been playing that way all year, and we've had to. We've had a lot of our superstar players out injured for majority of the year, and we've had to grind out our wins. And that was no different the other night against Parramatta. It was a gritty win. We grinded it out, and the last 10 minutes, our goal line defence was unbelievable. The best I've seen from the club for quite some time.
Yeah, Brendan, it was, you obviously watched it at home there, mate. You would have been pretty proud of what you've seen there, mate. I think Brownie's talking about gutsy. Well, I can tell you, Brownie, we lost every statistical category in the game besides completion rate and the scoreboard. We lost everything. It was 16 offloads to 1 to Parramatta, 9 line breaks to 6. They pretty much had more run meters. They had more run meters per set, and they had more tackle breaks. They had everything. They played the ball quicker than we did. Look, they won everything, but except for what really matters, and that's the scoreboard, and that's pure grit there, Brennan.
Yeah, Chapo, I was really, really impressed by what I seen. There was the performances from plenty of players, and I'm sure we're going to get to them shortly, but there wasn't a bad player on the field. And what I like at the moment, we're not playing to get into the top 8. We're playing for heart, and we're playing for the badge on this jumper, and the players are playing for people like you, me, and Brownie, and everyone out there that loves this club. And what they shown the other night, especially for me, was really inspiring. I've got a bit going on in my life at the moment, and when the Rabbitohs pull something like that out of the fire, and Brownie mentioned it before, they were no chance to win that game, and they went on and won that game. Some unbelievable efforts from a number of different players. That was just incredible. I've got to say, there was 10 line breaks to 6. We saved 4 or 5 certain tries. Parramatta should have won that game by 3 or 4 tries, boys, but it didn't happen, and that's due to the South Sydney spirit and the ticker of those players out there, and everyone involved with that win, from the coaching staff to the playing group, everyone involved with that win on Saturday night. I just want to let them know right now how proud I am to put this jumper on today, me Rabbits jumper, and wear that down to work because of the entertainment they provided me and my family. And I've got two little girls that have been asking me for the last few months, Daddy, when's the Rabbits number going to be higher than the other team? When's that going to happen again? And the last 2 weeks, I've been able to tell them, guess what? The Rabbits 20-18, and this week the Rabbits 20-16. And me little girls, they want to put the beanies on, and they want to represent the club, and it's great to be able to tell them you represent them at all times, but when you represent them when they win, there's something really special about that, boys.
Well said, Brendo.
It was pretty special out there. Good little win from the boys, and you think last week, Latrell Mitchell, the star in jumper number 22, this week didn't pull out, had a pinched nerve in his neck or something. Parramatta went into the game thinking they were going to win that pretty comfortably. I think they put all their athletes in the back line. They dropped Dean Hawkins. They went athlete from 7-1. They thought they'd just run over the top of our blokes, and didn't pan out that way. They went sideways too much. They didn't want to earn the right by going back up the middle. I thought if they stayed down the middle of the field, they would have had a better chance. They just tried to get around us, and our scramble just drove them over the sideline. Or if we pushed them back inside, there was someone coming across in cover to help out. But and jumper number 22 come on and straighten things up for us again in Cody Walker. And I think next year it's all about number 22, boys. The quest for premiership number 22. So it's a significant number in our club at the moment. And like you said earlier, congratulations to the coaching staff for what the teams that they've had to prepare this year. It's nearly a different team every single week. I think we've only named the same team twice, 2 weeks in a row. For them to be able to prepare this team with guys that, no offence, but a little bit outclassed, the start of the year they weren't even thought of to play in this team. And, Wayne Bennett's had to, and all his coaching staff and his back staff and the managers have had to try and put a team on the park every week. And I don't care who the coach is. You give me bloody Craig Bellamy, bloody Trent Robinson, they would not have more wins on the board than what we've got at the moment. No way. So heading into next year, we're looking pretty good, boys.
Yeah, certainly, chaps. And like you said, it's been a horrendous run of injuries, not only this year, but I believe the last 3 years our club has had a horrendous run with injuries, and we've had to battle away and, grind out all our wins. We've had to tough it out and battle and battle and battle and battle, and that's what this club is all about. The proud, red and green colours go out every week and just do the best for their jumper, and that's exactly what they did the other day, and they came away winners, and it was an outstanding win, and I'm sure we'll go through some of the big performers very shortly.
We'll just touch on each and every player that probably deserves a mention there. I think we've got to start at the top, and I know he didn't win the Eric Sims medal, but he wouldn't have been too far away. I thought Jai Gray, that this kid, I've said it many times, this kid he's got the heart of a lion, mate. What he's able to do at the back there, some of those defensive plays he comes up with, the triple effort play where he tackled Ayong in and went and tackled another forward, swept out the back and cleaned the ball up. That was just one little moment that he did in the game. But one of the things I'm most proud of him in that game is when we had Ashton Ward dug in, played at the back, young kid, under 20, straight to Jai Gray, another kid, under 20. Out to Tyrone Munro, a 20-year-old, young. And not only that, Peter Mamazoulis in a dummy half. But Jai Gray, under pressure, everyone said he can't do the catch and pass. Well, guess what? He nailed that one the other day. This kid's very coachable. I know Billy Slater, I watched both replays, the Fox replay and the 9 replay on the 9 Go app, and, mate, they gave him a big rep. They couldn't stop raving about the bloke in the white headgear.
Yeah, I heard the same raps myself, chaps. And look, we were told about this young kid 3 or 4 years ago by a former coach of the club, Joe O'Callaghan. He said this kid's going to be a superstar. And we actually called his first game down there at Marcel and Fields, chaps, where he pulled his hamstring. It was only a trial match, but he looks special then. And he's gone on to bigger and better things at this stage of his career. But he was outstanding once again. the other night. You know, I've been calling for him to be in the top 17 all year. And, you know, Wayne pulled the trigger a couple of weeks ago and played him fullback and put Latrell in the centres. And unfortunately, Latrell didn't play the other night, but Jai Gray was simply outstanding. You mentioned that them plays, that triple effort that he come up with, effort on effort on effort. If you follow the play, chaps, after he retrieved the kick and brought it back into the field of play, he sprinted back out to the right because they thought they were going to shift the ball. So that was another effort after all them three efforts that he made. You go back and watch the highlights, you'll see him sprinting out the back, right out to the right-hand edge. And, yeah, just a wonderful player. That was only, you know, a couple of instances, but he made them efforts all game.
Yeah, look, I think Tallis Duncan, 2 tries, 29 tackles, 2 misses. The game was probably summed up with that head first dive he did into Ayongi, where he ended up winning the. They ruled it a knock on originally, but replays showed he touched it first, Ayongi, and then they went and scored his second try after that to really seal the win. To be honest, I thought he was outstanding, Brendan. Tallis Duncan, if he's not the most improved Rabbitoh in the comp, nearly the most improved player in the comp, to be honest.
Yeah, Tallis Duncan, mate, he's really improved. I remember listening to the podcast a couple of weeks ago. You sent me with Ello and Shannon Donato, Jeremy Monahan and the boys. And I remember Ello mentioning that he's become a full season first grader now. You got a bloke that can play back row. He can play lock. You can chuck him in the back line in the centres, right? And he's going to do a job for you. And now he's not just doing a job. He's become a dominant NRL player. He's looking to run over the top of blokes. He's looking to score that try. I remember when he fended off Penasini. Penasini was getting up off the deck and his hands are up. This bloke got him. This Tallis Duncan got him. And he slammed the ball down. And I remember getting up out of me lounge chair. Go on, Tallis, you know, because it just fired me up. You got these young guys. And you mentioned at the start of the year, Chapo, Tallis Duncan was maybe only a bench player. But with injury comes opportunity, right? And now you got this guy, he's approaching 50 games. And I remember a lot of the great coaches in our game, you know, Tim Sheens, Bellamy, a lot of the guys have mentioned, you get to that 50 game mark and you're a seasoned first grader. And in his first 50 games, this guy's actually done a lot leading up to that milestone in his career. And I believe now he's a real cog in the wheel for our Rabbitohs. And he's going to be a real weapon for our footy club, Chapo.
Yeah, he started in the back row the other night, chaps, didn't he? And was forced to play centre after a couple of minutes. Bailey Bentley Harpy came off with an injury and Tallis was forced to go to the centre again, but didn't miss a beat. Did not miss a beat. He just went about his business. His carries were strong. He defended well. And like you boys just indicated, came up with 2 crucial tries to go a long way towards our win. So, yeah, outstanding. Well-deserved Eric Sims medal winner, I thought. Like you said, chaps, Jai Gray must have been very close, but them two were best on field.
Yeah, you said 20 minutes in, he had to jump in. Thomas Fletcher came on the field for Bailey Bentley Harpy, and I thought, is he going in the centre? Big Tommy. Tommy jumped in, left edge back row, played 60 minutes out, and he quite easily could have scored one of those tries where Cody squared up and played out the back to Tallis. I think he really ran a good lead run and played a great role defensively. I thought he was outstanding in his 60 minutes on the field, 25 tackles. Tip of the cap to you. And I just want to make a statement here. I think Ello or any of those guys that watch this, please. I know he hasn't re-signed yet, and I'm sure they're talking to him, but get the signature of this kid on the books for the next couple of years, or at least next year. I think he's shown enough in these 3 games to me and all the fans out there. Not only is he a great player, but he's a great Rabbitoh and a loyal bloke. Get behind the kid. I think that'll pay dividends into the future.
Oh, without a doubt, chaps, and I second your opinion there. He needs to be signed. I think the kid's got talent. He showed in the 3 games that he's played that he can handle it at this level. And I said to someone the other day that this kid is just going to get better and better every week that he takes the field, and that's exactly what he's done. His first touch in first grade, he came up with an error, but he didn't let that worry him. He just got on with his game. He did his job. He's a strong defender. And the other night, he came up with some really, really big defensive plays. I think his first tackle, he got Lomax one-on-one, shifted him back and stopped their momentum. So, yeah, look, he's a real talent. They've touted him as a rookie kid coming through the pathway system for quite some time now. And, hopefully, he can put pen to paper for this club.
Oh, for sure, mate. Yeah, he's one of those guys. I think he stands out more in first grade than he does in cup, and that happens to a lot of kids. They probably plateau out in cup a little bit and becomes a bit mundane rolling out in cup in front of 100 people every week. But in front of the big lights, mate, he loves the big lights, Tommy. But huh?
Brendo's thoughts on Tommy? I know he's got big raps on him as well.
Oh, yeah. Mate, I've mentioned it that many times on the potty before, and I know you grew up DB, Great Buckingham Street, Redfern, and we've mentioned before when you and me have had a couple of beers and that you wanted to wear this jumper and you wanted to play for these boys, right? And Tommy Fletcher, he's no different. We got photos online a couple of weeks ago before he played Brisbane. You got this young guy standing next to Charlie Gallagher, the rabbit, as a 10 or 11 or 12-year-old boy, and here he is out there as a 21-year-old ripping into Zach Lomax in the Rabbitohs first grade jumper. You know, how good's that, right? And not only is he a terrific player and a terrific talent, Australian schoolboy, he's already got the resume, but for me, I want blokes that want to play for that. That's going to mean a bit more to them when they win a game, or if they're gassed with 5 minutes to go, they're going to push harder, because it's not just about the pay packet or, advancing their career. It's about who they're playing for. And Tommy wants to wear the jumper, and anyone out there that wants to listen to a postman's opinion, get that boy signed. He's going to keep improving. I had a former Rabbitoh by the name of Peter Reid. He texted me yesterday morning. He said, Tommy's getting better and better, mate. He's getting better and better, Brendo, every game. And that's coming from a bloke that's played first grade. Darren Brown just mentioned before, you've captained the club, Brownie, that he's getting better and better every game. Let's get his signature, and let's get him to keep representing these boys, as you said, chaps, for at least another year. Definitely.
I'll tell you now, other clubs will be looking at that, and he'll be coming up in the off-contract list for all these recruitment managers. And, mate, if he gets an offer soon, mate, I'm encouraging him to take it. If he gets an offer somewhere else, so don't sit in your heels, South. You're going to miss out on a guy that could play another 150, 200 games. But anyway, a bloke who's already played that amount of games, if not more, Jai Arrow, another great performance. Every time I looked up, he was doing a hit up. I think he did 24 carries in the game, played front row for majority of it. Huge meters, 208 meters again, 88 post contact meters, the most in the game. Topped the tackle count as well. He continues to be an absolute leader of this club, and he's showing other blokes what it really means to play injured and play hurt every week and play with passion. And he's part of those 8 or 9 games we lost in a row, but you can see what it means to him those last couple of games we won.
Yeah, well, we mentioned at the start of the show, chaps, that it was a gritty win, and that's exactly how Jai's been playing for the last 6 or 7 weeks. He plays hard. He does all the little 1%ers. He's always there to take the tough carries. And once again, the other night, chaps, his workload was unbelievable. He was just there every time. High work rate, good stats, and that's what you want from a leader in your team. And that's exactly what Jai Arrow is. He plays with his heart on his sleeve, and, I'm sure he's going to be doing that for the next couple of rounds as well.
Oh, he will. He's an animal, Jai. I absolutely love him. And the hectic cheese, 59 minutes, he's getting his minutes up. He's showing some experience. Even his first couple of carries, he just does these bullocking runs. He plays the ball quick. We get on the back of it. We haven't got the most dominant front rowers at the moment, so someone like Cheese, his value to this team has been shown in the last couple of weeks with a couple of wins, Brendan.
Brendo, I'll come to you next, Brendo, but I don't. If you can remember, his first hit up was unbelievable. It was probably the best hit up of the game. He came on, he hit the ball with speed. He broke the line. He hit the deck. You got to quick play the ball, and that got us on a roll on it. And that's what Cheese brings. He just brings so much experience, and he just never gets dominated, does he, Brenda?
No, mate, definitely. He skittles defenders, whether he's taking a hit up one off the ruck or he's running from dummy half. He is just running with so much power. And if you've got a bloke out there that's looking to run over the opposition, they're always a threat. And he's looking to run over the opposition all the time. Don't matter whether he's just looking to charge over him, he's burrowing under. Mate, he's got that many strings to his bow, this bloke. And often at times he'll start scurrying at a dummy half. He'll put another bloke into a hole. Someone like a host even will make a couple of post-contact meters, and that's because a Brandon Smith has put him into a hole. He's making players better around him, and what a signing he's been. And I believe he's another guy that wants to play in this jumper. I didn't see him play that well for the Roosters. He may have done, I'm not sure, but his form since he's been with the Rabbits has been absolutely phenomenal. And shout out to you, Cheese. What a great acquisition for the club, and another guy that wants to play here and is ripping in for our jumper.
Well, he's a bigger version of Isaac Luke. Like, we haven't had a hooker that's that powerful, and what he does, he at the point of contact, he wins the collision. That's what he does. It doesn't. I don't care how big he is. He just, when he comes into a collision, he fucking wins the collision, and that's what you want.
He never gets dominated.
No, you can't dominate him. He's a little nugget. Like, as I've said on previous podcasts, anyone's seen him up close recently, mate, his thighs and his hammies are just huge, mate. He's a big, powerful little nugget, and I wish he was 125 kilos. We wouldn't get beat.
And
He'd be. I tell you what, he'd put Payne Haas out of a job, mate. I'm telling you now, he'd be the best front row in the game.
Big set of ham and eggs on him.
Oh, he's got massive ham and eggs, mate.
I tell you, who's going to benefit a whole lot from the Cheese is Pete Mamazelis. When they get that quick play the ball, on a number of occasions the other night, the Cheese had a hit up, quick play the ball. Next minute, Pete Mamazelis is off and running, and we're getting the go forward. We haven't had that, chaps, over the last 6 weeks when the Cheese hasn't played. Them quick play the balls, not dominated in the ruck, up, play the ball, we're off and running. And that's how Pete scored his try.
Yeah, well, even before Cheese come on, I thought Pete played some pretty good footy, There was one where I think he jumped out at the right-hand side and played over the left, and we had a shape play over there, and it really, Parramatta backed off a little bit, and we gained about 15, 20 metres on it. Not only that, they got their spacing wrong there, Parramatta, and Pete really picked it up. As soon as you go back and watch that replay, you'll see how far away they were from each other. And Pete just went, yeah, beauty. Had the ball up nice and high, so they couldn't knock it down. And he scored, and mate almost got another one in the second half too. So, yeah, guys like Cheese.
Creativity.
Yeah, he's got a bit of footy. And the one thing he doesn't have is that explosive first 2 or 3 steps. But I think he's got a really good football brain, Pete. He really reads the game well. And the more football he plays, the more he's a real confidence player. The more he gets in there with your classy players like your Cheese and your Cameron Murrays, who couldn't be too far away. I think we've only got 2 games left, so the season's running out, Cam. So, guys like that, your Walkers and your Mitchells, the more he plays with guys like that, the better off he's going to be. We touched on Cody, but yeah, come back. 2 try assists. A couple of his passes weren't quite on the money early, but I think maybe Jai Gray might have just missed the assignment on 1 or 2. But once he got the timing down and everyone started to play at Cody's level, it was going to always spell a tough night out for Parramatta.
Well, look, I said the other day there's a couple of players that when they play, our football team is a different team, and Cody was one of them, and he just proved that the other night. When he came on, he changed the dynamics of our attack, of our shape plays down our left-hand edge. He plays short, he holds the ball up, he plays out the back. He really, really has the opposition second-guessing, and Tallis Duncan nearly went through a couple of times. Tommy Fletcher nearly went through. And Jai Gray out the back. Look, AJ probably didn't get the clean ball, which he normally gets when Latrell's there. But Jai Gray, he threatens the line every time he gets the ball out the back. And there's inroads there. And Cody was instrumental in that win. I know he's not getting all the raps like Jai Gray and Tallis Duncan are getting, but yeah, he was very instrumental, Cody. I'm glad Wayne got him on before half time. He said he was going to get him on after half time, but he pulled the trigger and got him on beforehand. There was a couple of different playmakers out there. I was trying to figure out who was playing where because all the halves and all the hookers were all out there at the same time, and a bit of a masterstroke there from Wayne.
And the boys on the bench had to tell Cody what the score was because he never looked at the game once. He was looking at the box to Wayne to tell him to get on the field. So I don't think he had eyes in the back of his head. So he finally got on there. Now Wayne's come up with a new nickname, 50-Minute Cody. Good on you, 50. Anyway, one of the great rappers, 50 Cents. We've got 50-Minute Cody. So anyway, we'll take that. Ty Munro. I'm not sure if the Fox went easy on him, but geez, I tell you what, he was all over the Fox like a cheap suit. 9 tackles, all 9 were on the Fox, I think. Barreled him over the sideline. He was in position for the only real opportunity he had. Scored a try. He only had the one error. I think the last time he played first grade, about 5 or 6 knock-ons. So he was only a late inclusion there, but worth coming into the squad. And come up with a couple of nice sit-ups at different stages, but that's obviously a part of the game he's going to continue to work on as he gets the bigger frame, Brownie.
Yeah, I thought he was outstanding. Chaps, we spoke about it before the game. Our opinion, which it doesn't mean much in terms of, with inside the 4 walls. But, well, like anyone, we're allowed our opinion. And we thought all he had to do was just stay on Josh Addo-Carr. Don't worry about inside you. Don't come in. Just hang back, back off if you have to. And he did that on a couple of occasions and forced the Fox over the sideline. The Fox didn't look like scoring. Did not look like scoring. And I thought he'd done a really, really good job. He's very close to Josh Addo-Carr. They've got a very strong relationship. They've been through a lot over the last couple of years, especially young Ty Munro, and I'm sure Josh Addo-Carr would have been there for him. So, yeah, you can really tell that he was really up for the game. And like you said, he scored a great try. From that nice pass from Jai Gray. Had a little bit to do, showed a lot of speed to get there, and without his speed, he wouldn't have scored that try either.
No, well, I think they're family friends. I think Phil good to their cousins, but they're not. I think they're just really close family friends, and the Fox is a mentor to young Tai Tai. So, obviously a very important relationship between those two. Both been through about hell and back, and especially Tai Tai. And look, he's only early in his career. Tai Tai. He's got many great years ahead of him, and that was just another step in the right direction there. I just want to give a shout out to a player who done his shoulder in round 1 up in Gosford in the trials and played the entire season out with it. But he's going to go under the knife tomorrow, boys. He's out for the season. Liam LeBlanc. You probably didn't notice a lot of him the other night. He only got about 10 or 12 minutes on the field and come up with a few tackles, but didn't even have a carry with the ball. His shoulder's busted from start of the season, but he really banged it up against the Gold Coast and still braved it out and went out and played. And, shout out to you, Liam, mate. You have let no one down this year, and you've shown Wayne Bennett just what you're all about. You're a big hit man. You play well above your weight, and I think now the plan is in the off season for him to pack on 5 or 6 kilos and come back bigger, better, and stronger. And he's the sort of guy that you want on your bench. You can come off the bench and turn a game with a big shot or a big carry. So, yeah, well done, Liam. That's what this game's all about, playing injured for your mates and keep turning up, and you haven't let anyone down at all.
No, he's enormous, Liam LeBlanc. He can really hit him. He reminds me of a guy that played for Penrith many years ago, Nigel Plum. When he hits him, he nearly breaks him in two. And Liam LeBlanc, what a great player. And he's been enormous for our club. It was great to see him get his first try there the other day. Your mate, Big Johnny Sutton, did the whistle on the sideline when he scored. So, 7 Long Blanc, I think they call him, is that the wine? He must be a pretty popular bloke. He's got a good nickname, and I'm sure he's a good young bloke around the club. And how good to have him on board for next year, Chapo.
Yeah, well, just them young blokes like Tommy Fletcher, Jai Gray, Liam LeBlanc, they're inseparable. You've seen Jai Gray when the final whistle blew, how excited he was. First bloke he hugged was Thomas Fletcher, and then he went and found Liam LeBlanc on the bench. So they're really tight friends, and you're hoping that they can keep those three in and amongst the group for many years to come. And you always play better when you're playing with your best mates. So, look, good luck with all that, Liam. So we did lose the odd player out of that game. And just looking next week, boys, before we move on for this game, Latrell Mitchell expected back. They had a training session today, but it was just pissing down rain. I didn't bother going over there. They had a late training session at 12:30, a bit later than normal, probably because of the quick turnaround. We've also got, that's the only training session today. They're going to do a captain's run Wednesday, straight into the game Thursday night footy, and then we get a nice 16-day break leading into the Roosters game. But yeah, I think Liam LeBlanc and Lachlan Hubner, Latrell Mitchell and Hubby, they're definite back ends. But do you think anyone else comes back into the squad, boys?
Yeah, not sure, Chapo. I mean, I'm
You wouldn't
just
think
really.
Bailey Bentley Harpo is going to play. He copped a pretty bad knock. I think it was a category 1, so he won't be back.
Yeah, the 11-day stand-down rule, so there'll be no Bailey. I'm just really big on now until the end of the year. I understand probably Latrell's best position is fullback, but I think now and after what he's shown the other night, let's keep Jai at 1 and Latrell at left centre and see how we go with that, mate, for the upcoming games. I think Big Trell was enormous at left centre against the Titans. Jai Gray was just unbelievable the other night, and I think we need to keep him at 1, mate. We can reassess in the off-season what we want to do, but I think till the end of 2025, mate, the regular year, we keep Jai Gray at fullback and Trell at centre.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Brendo. And like I said earlier in the show, I've been calling for Jai Gray. He's got to be in the 17 somewhere, and he's just proved that the other night with the effort plays that he comes up with. And look, Latrell is the best centre in the game, in the world, on his day. And you see what he does at state of origin level, in the colours of the green and gold for Australia. He plays centre. He's just dominant wherever he plays, and I think for the benefit of the team at this point of time, I think he stays in the centres. Jai Gray stays fullback, and like you said, give him the licence to roam. Go on the right hand side if you want. But you've seen what he did the other night when first touch of the ball. What he did for AJ, just put him in for a nice try, and that's what he can do. He's a world class player, and he can do it from any position. And I think you're right, Brenda. Latrell stays in the centres and Jai Gray at fullback.
Yeah, well, I think until Latrell can prove he can play 10 or 12 games in a row without being injured, why not leave him in the centres out there, and he's our best ball player, maybe the best ball player you've ever seen for a big man. He offers, I don't think it matters where Latrell plays. You could chuck him in the back row and the halfback, but he's going to impact the game no matter where he is. But if you put him at fullback, I think one of our best players at the moment by country miles, Jai Gray, he's nearly the player of the year for us. But you go back and think about this start of the year, I think he's nearly a shoo-in for the George Pickens medal. He led the friggin' Daily M's, boys. I know he missed some games in the middle of the year, but this little bloke, there's only one bloke you can compare him to at South Sydney. That's the greatest player to ever strap on a boot. That's Clive Churchill, boys. That's what a lot of people say they remind him of some of the old blokes, just a little diminutive bloke who's in the game. And Clive was obviously renowned for one of the first fullbacks to ever chime into the back line and set up his winger. He set up Les Brennan for a record 29 tries one year. But he's also known for his ferocious defence if he broke through. And what does this little bloke do? He chops them all down. I'm going to go back to the Broncos game where Selwyn Cobbo, one of the most intimidating blokes you've ever seen, ripping down the sideline. He didn't stop this try, but he come across and hit him as hard as he could about a metre out from the line. He was pretty much ended up going over, but mate, he's so courageous, this bloke. I'm in awe of everything he does, and I can't get him out of the side. So Latrell, you can play him anywhere. Play him in the front row at the moment. We've got no front rowers. Play Latrell at 8. Let's see how he goes. He'll have a massive impact on the game down there at 8. Mate, there's no debate. Jai Gray and Latrell have to be in your starting lineup. I don't care what you got to do, Wayne. You got to make it happen.
Yeah, exactly, chaps. And
it's not a hard decision.
I'm sure everyone's got the same thoughts as us three here. today that Jai Gray stays at 1 and Latrell, you fit him in the centres. Like you said, chaps, you play him anywhere and he's going to dominate. He just loves the big moments and he comes up with the big moments all the time. Look, we need him. We need him in the team, Latrell. We're a much better team when he plays, similar to Cody. And there's another player. Hopefully he'll be back within the next week or two. I mean, there's only 2 games left, so he's either going to come back this week or the last round, and that's Cameron Murray.
Yeah, mate, it'd be great to see Cam back.
I'd love to see Cam play this week, but probably not going to happen.
Well, people are saying, why risk him? Why risk him? But Cam's a winner. He wants to play. He's a football player. That's his job. If you're working in a normal life where you've got a job and you've been off work for 6 weeks, you're not going to say, if you're right to come back to work, just give me another week or 2. You want to come back and go to work and start earning your money. Well, that's the same as Cam. He wants to come back. He wants to play. He wants to help the team. And, that's what it's all about. It's not, save him for next year, do this, do that. Cam wants to come back and do his best for the mighty South Sydney Rabbitohs.
Well, I'm not sure about
Brendan's kids are playing up again. Like, your kids playing up again, Brendan. You're off the screen.
Mate, I might have to go in 5 or 10.
You're out of centre. Yeah, that's all good, mate. That's all good. I want to give a quick wrap before we move on. He's been much maligned, Jacob Host, but mate, if he didn't put his body on the line the other night, I'll give it away. That tackle off the kickoff, it's nearly the shot of the season off the kickoff. And he done 3 or 4 of those. Put it this way, he got charged 3 times in the game, and that's exactly what we want from our players, our forwards. Going in there, putting your body on the line to flog blokes. 2 dangerous contact charges, 1 shoulder charge. Only got fines for all of them. Jacob Host, mate, you're putting yourself in the shop window. I know he's not going to be back at the club this year, but I think there'll be a club out there that could certainly do with him in England or somewhere else in Australia. So well done, Hosty. And also Sean Keppie, again, he's one of those guys that doesn't not able to put 3 or 4 games together, but he's put the last 2 weeks together and he's been powerful. He's led from the front. He's been aggressive. Well done to those 2 blokes. Much maligned, both of them.
Yeah, well, hopefully they take a lot of confidence. Sorry, Brenda. Hopefully they take a lot of confidence out of the last 2 weeks. Them 2 players that you just mentioned, chaps, and finish off the season strong because we really want to win these last 2 games, the Dragons and obviously the last round against our arch rivals, the Roosters.
Yeah, mate, I really love Big Sean Keppie's last 2 games, and what I like about it, in the sheds afterwards, he's front and centre, he's banging that bin. Now they're all around the bar. Yeah. He's into it, and I think he loves playing for our club, and to all the people that are into him online and that, I understand, by his own standards, he's had a few barries, but the last 2 weeks, his contact has been enormous. He belted the Fox the other night, dragged him back a few metres. His hit-ups were dominant. He kept pumping his legs. When he did hit the ground, it was elbows and knees, quick play the ball. And big shout-out to you, Sean Keppie, because he's led the charge in the dressing rooms, banging that bin and belting out the team song. And I like Sean Keppie. I think he's got something to offer. I think, and by his own standards, he needs to be probably more consistent. I'm sure he'd say that himself. But the last 2 games, it shows me he's a capable NRL player, Sean Keppie.
Yeah, well said, mate. Yeah, they've both done a good job, both of them, the host and kept the weapon. They're quite hosty themselves. But, I think last week, someone from South must listen to the show because I said, that's enough of Liver and Hooker, please. Put him in the front row and guess what? Named at number 8. Just done his job. Up and down, north and south. You can't roll him on his back, the turtle. Old Liver. So, yeah, well done there. Boys, that might be a bit on that game. Brendan's got to go deliver a baby very shortly, but we'll have a look at the pathways pretty quick. We had 3 losses in the pathways. Played the Western Suburbs Magpies at Redfern on Saturday. Were beaten 42-24. The player of the match, Hazen Mellors, 9 tackle breaks, 2 tries. Look a bit like Thomas Fletcher. hasn't been offered a contract for next year. I think you'll see him pop up elsewhere. There'll be some other club will announce he's signing very shortly because you cannot keep ignoring this bloke. He's got qualities about him. He could quite easily be an Xavier Coates style player. He's big, he's powerful, he's in the air, he's incredible in the air. He's getting better and better, the former basketball player. He sets up a try, scores a try nearly every time he plays. The other one was Celestia Tata, the 118 kilo wrecking ball, started the game unbelievable, came back on and scored a try with his second spell. Two of the players of the match in that one. Brownie, you watch that one?
Yeah, I watched bits and pieces of it, chaps, and like you said, we got off to a really good start. We're pulling the opposition team apart with some offloads and some good yardage carries, and like you said, that front rower Tata was having a really strong impact on the game, and unfortunately, the Tigers got a bit of field position and then run away with the game. But Hazen Mellors, a little bit of a shock, chaps. I was a little bit disappointed that we haven't offered him a contract. I thought he's had a horror run with injuries over the past couple of seasons. He's just started to put some back-to-back games together, and he's really showing his quality and his worth as a rugby league player. He's a very good winger. He's got a really good build on him. He's a really good jumper of the ball, like you said, similar to Xavier Coates, and a little bit disappointed. And I was a little bit shocked to hear that the Rabbitohs won't be offering him a contract. I don't know if that's the case. It's only speculation. What you've just told me, chaps. So a little bit disappointed. I really like Hazen, and I think he's got a big future in the game.
Well, yeah, they've got a few other guys coming through. I think it was the Jersey Flag. Sorry, we got beat 42-6. It was going to be the debut of Dane Jennings, the young Australian schoolboy. Pretty exciting prospect. He's someone coming through there. He ended up being a little ill. I think he might have the flu or something. He didn't play. That was a tough old afternoon at Lidcombe. But you got a guy called Dean Tower. And I don't know if you've seen any of this footage of this kid, but got some more footage of him sent late last night. I had a look at it. Mate, this kid is unbelievable. You got Edward Cossey coming from the Warriors, yardage man. You got is it Graham Talfa? Might have not said his name right there. I haven't got it in front of me. Some big units there.
Talfa, yeah.
Well, that's him. Yeah, Mawala Graham Talfa. There's four guys that you're going to probably see over the next 12 to 18 months. Put on the red and green.
I'm hearing Penatani as well is going to be included into the top 30 or a development contract next year?
Yeah, I think that's how he came over.
Noah.
I think he signed as that. Noah. But he's a local junior. Penatani is from the Maddo Tigers. And, he's going to be available for selection next year. He's only on the second-tier contract this year. Look, there's a lot of kids coming. And it's probably a bit frustrating for the fans to be having to wait for it. But, I thought he would have been worth at least throwing something at him, even a second-tier contract next year to see if he wants that. Otherwise, someone's going to grab him. He's a very unique talent. I understand that he's been injured millions of times since he's been here, but when he's on the field, he's certainly someone you want on your roster.
He's a try scorer, chaps. He knows where the try line is. Scores plenty of tries.
Yeah, he certainly gets up. He had an intercept the other day too, sniffed out a ray there. Again, we're outclassed again. The West Tigers had about 10 or 12 first graders like Charlie Staines and all these sort of guys. And we're just a little bit. Yeah, Brent Naden in the halves carved us up. It was a tough old day out, very much so. Look, the women's were pretty similar. They were beaten 26-8. And one of the great rugby league names, the Hopewadi family, no less than 10 of them. There's a Hopewadi scored a try for the Rabbitohs. So who knows? I think we've got a couple of Hopewadis in the books now. There's one in the lower grades. I think a 15-year-old one of the young hoppers. So might see a couple of them represent the red and green at a higher level at some stage there, boys. You got anything else?
I just want to touch on speaking of pathways, chaps, we're just going to go down a level, but the local South Sydney Junior A-grade competition, the semi-finals were on yesterday at Redfern Oval. I went down there. The Laparoos Panthers played the Coogee Wombats to go into the grand final. The Laparoos Panthers were successful, a team that have only just come back into the competition. They were minor premiers and they went on to win that game convincingly. And now the Coogee Wombats will play the Mascot Jets to meet the Labrus Panthers in the grand final the following week. So, yeah, some good games down there, some quality players in that Labrus side. A lot of local young blokes whose old mans would have played for the club, and now they're coming up through the system and playing for that famous proud club out there at La Perouse.
Yeah, the great Alex Johnson come out of that club. So just to name a few. Yeah, look, it's great to see. I live in the La Perouse community, so they haven't had an A grade for a while, and certainly not a very competitive one. This one here finished up minor premiers and booked their place into the grand final. Looking forward to calling that one in a couple of weeks with you, Brownie. Shout out to work. I got the day off for that one, by the way. I forgot to tell you that before, but anyway, didn't have to get down on my hands and knees, but I got that one off. Yeah, and also I went out to watch the 21s the other day, yesterday, mate, and Big Les was team. Southeastern Seagulls versus the Coogee Wombats. They're first and second in the Sydney Metropolitan competition. Yeah, they're undefeated, Southeastern, and geez, they've got some good front rowers in there, mate. I think they might have to sign one of these blokes in the Jersey Flag this year. At least give him a training trial. He's a wrecking ball. The Coogee Wombats had a lot of players out. Some of them playing A grade, some of them playing Jersey Flag at the moment. Depending on how that A grade team goes next week, they might be able to, if they can get into the grand final, they'll be able to stack it for the grand final. But they were certainly led there by a bloke you might remember if you're a long time listener, Lachlan Wilders, a little 5'8". He was in everything. Yeah, there were some good young players. In the future, I think Bailey Smith was in the Southeastern team. He's been featured on the program many times before. But mate, what a great game under 21s. They bashed each other. Ended up just being only a 2-point ball game in the end. And yep, well done to them. We might call that one too, Brownie. We might do 3 games. We'll see how the schedule comes out on the day. They might want to break it up.
For those people who are interested, like Chaps just indicated, that we will be covering the grand final of the A reserves and the A grade there at Redfern Oval in 2 weeks' time. We will post a link further down the track closer to the day. But yeah, we're in conjunction with the South Sydney Juniors. We've done that for the last couple of years, and it's been hugely successful, and we'll be doing it again this year, especially for the people who cannot attend the grand finals there at Redfern.
Yep, that's exactly right. There's some. Obviously, they've changed a lot of the rules, and there's been a lot of complaints from some of the younger parents. There's no grand finals for the kids this year, Brownie, so there's not going to be as many grand finals on, which is going to be a bit interesting to see. Normally they have around 20 or 30 odd games on over 2 days, but I think they've shortened it up a fair bit. So we'll see how we go. We'll let you go, Brendan. I think you've got bigger fish to fry at the moment, mate. Good luck at the.
Off, boys. I got the call, but it's been a pleasure. And when the great Grant Chappell, Clive, Sam, Tugger, Darren Brown, Nick, Tommy Fletcher, Talitsky's born, I'll let you all know, and I'll be ringing up Hefner for membership.
We'll have to.
Good on you, Brendo. Hope everything goes well, mate.
Love you.
Sounds like a South American. Sounds like a South American tennis player, mate. He's got that many hyphens, but I'll let you go, mate. That might be about it for another edition of Rabbitohs Radio Podcast. Up the mighty Rabbitohs.
Up the Rabbitohs.